Welcome to part 1 of 3 masterclasses of healing your relationship with anxiety. My name is Wendy.
And I'm Nicole.
And today we are looking at the mind-body connection of anxiety. So we have 4 goals for you that you'll be able to achieve by finishing this masterclass. The first goal is going to be that you're going to understand the mind-body connection and how unprocessed emotion can really trigger anxiety. The second goal is recognizing anxiety as a messenger and not the enemy, and how we can start working with it today.
Yeah, we're going to go through 2 core techniques that you can use to both process and shift any anxiety that you're feeling. So we've got our body scan awareness, as well as something called emotional rehearsal. And we're going to reflect on some key questions. We've got a worksheet for you guys that's going to take you through some prompts of things you can ask yourself when you're feeling anxiety somewhere in your body. So to start, we're going to look at the mind-body connection and how emotions can get stuck within the body. There's so many different perspectives on sort of what anxiety is, and we definitely teach from a perspective that anxiety is a messenger, and it's usually letting us know that there is some sort of unprocessed emotion in the body that we need to shift so it's not stored in there. I mean, from my perspective, when we're storing those emotions in the body, they can manifest in so many different ways. But one of those is chronic anxiety.
Anxiety is like any other emotion. It is telling you if something is working well or if it's not working well. So if you're feeling happiness, you're usually getting these messages from your body that feels good, keep going. When anxiety shows up, there's a message there. Your body is telling you. It might be sensations in your tummy, it might be sweaty hands, it might be racing thoughts. There's something that's happening in your external environment that is making your internal environment kind of turn upside down. One, I think a really interesting thing to raise is that often before we can kind of have the awareness of the anxieties maybe showing up in their body is how we're actually responding to it. When anxiety kind of shows up and we feel it, what's our automatic response? Are we trying to push it away and say, no, you shouldn't be here, and put all our energy into that? Or are we actually moving into a place, which is what we're going to be teaching you guys tonight, of actually creating space for anxiety to be there and get curious of why it's showing up? Okay, so we're going to get into the doing. Nicole, do you want to be my guinea pig?
I will be the guinea pig, yes.
Cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick body scan for awareness of any tension in the body. It's a process where we go from our toes all the way up to our head, and we hold tension in the body, like on purpose, and then we release. You don't want to do it to a point that it hurts, because that's not the idea. We don't want to get sued by anyone, thank you.
No, definitely not.
No, it's just to create that tension, and then I'm going to count you down. We're going to hold for 5 seconds, and I'm going to count you down. When you get to that 1, I want your mind and your focus to really be on the release of the tension in that particular part of your body. All right, so if you feel comfortable, close down your eyes. Otherwise, just focus on a point in the room. And we're going to start by just taking a deep breath. And we're going to bring our awareness to our feet. And when you're ready, I want you to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And we're just going to start by curling those toes up and under. And we're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Just noticing that tension melt away. Now we're going to bring our awareness to our calves, taking a deep breath in and out. And we're going to squeeze our calves, not too hard. And we're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Just noticing any pressure, any heaviness falling away. Next, we're going to bring awareness to our thighs. I'm going to take a deep breath in and release. And we're going to push our thighs together like we're holding a coin. We're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Letting go of any tension. And just noticing and observing how that feels. Next, we're going to bring awareness to our buttocks and how they're connecting to the chair. And we're going to take a deep breath in and out when you're ready. And then we are going to tense our buttocks for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Just noticing how it melts away and just observing any sensations we're feeling in that particular part of the body. Next, we're going to bring our awareness to our stomach. See how strong that core is. And we're going to take a deep breath in and out. And we're going to tense that stomach for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Letting go. Just observing how it feels to allow that tension to melt away. Next, we're going to bring our awareness to our shoulders, and we are going to take a deep breath in, and we're going to release. And then we're going to bring our shoulders as far as up to our ears and as close to our ears as possible, holding that tension for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Then we're going to bring our awareness to our hands. And we're going to take a deep breath in through the nose. And release. And then we're going to squeeze our hands into balls into fists. And we're going to hold and squeeze for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Slowly just opening those hands. And wiggling your fingers. Next, we are going to bring our awareness to our face. And we are going to get Nicole to squeeze her face into the biggest frown that she can manage. And we're going to hold that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Noticing the different areas in the face where that tension is falling away. That might be in the jaw or in the brow. And now we're just going to do a general scan of your whole body from the head, down your neck, down your arms, your tummy, your back, your legs all the way to your toes. And just noticing how your body feels. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
I'm actually really relaxed.
Cool, that's good. And hopefully,
thank you, Wendy.
Who's watching will feel relaxed as well.
So I'm going to bring up for you guys now a table here of little prompts and questions you guys can ask yourself, especially when you're doing that body scan towards the end. If you do notice the anxiety anywhere in your body, these are just some reflection questions like, what does the sensation feel like? How intense is this sensation? You don't have to go through all of them, but the idea is to start understanding this feeling, where it lives, and what it could be trying to tell you. This is it here. You guys can pause this or write some of these down. This is the sort of stuff we're going to go through in module 1 of Divine Balance.
Yeah. So this is not asking yourself every single question, but when you're doing something like that body scan that I just took you through, it can be really important afterwards to reflect on, okay, what was that in my body? Where was it showing up? What happens to my breath when I feel this? Because what you're doing is you're becoming more familiar with the anxiety. The more familiar you are with your anxiety, the less scary it's going to be, because you're moving from a place of fear or avoidance to a place of understanding and curiosity.
Okay, so that brings us to our second technique, which is something called emotional rehearsal. It's basically rehearsing scenarios. So taking a situation where you would usually respond with anxiety or panic, and in a safe space, you're going to rehearse a different outcome for that scenario.
A really good way of doing this is that when you catch yourself that you're planning worst case scenario, is that you actually entertain the best case scenario. Your brain's already gone into overdrive of telling you doom and gloom, what's going to happen, like pretty much, worst thing ever. When you notice that is happening, then we're going to go to this technique, which is what's the best case scenario, right?
So your brain doesn't always understand the difference between something that is real and something that is vividly imagined. So with this exercise, we're beginning to sort of retrain the brain. So if you can think of an example of something that you find particularly triggering, it could be an overwhelming situation, it could be a difficult conversation, or just a fear-based loop that you find yourself falling into. And we're basically going to reimagine the situation, but with a different emotional response. So you can do this as visualization, like I said. You can do this through journaling. You can do this through acting almost. That's actually what I tend to do, is I will literally say the words and imagine myself speaking a different outcome of a situation. Wendy, you had a really good example of when you've done this.
Yeah. So last year or the year before, when I was diagnosed with cancer, once I had a plan of my treatment and I had met with my breast surgeon, I visualized the conversation of him saying to me, Wendy, you have no more cancer left in your body. And so I would sit each morning and I would see myself walking into the office, sitting down, hear him saying the words, Wendy, you are cancer free. And I would imagine how that felt in my body, and I would feel that in my body. And I would do that multiple times a day whenever I felt the fear of having cancer and my mind telling me a million different things of what was going to happen to me and what would be happening to my family and, planning my funeral. I would come and revert back to the situation of me sitting down in the office with my surgeon and him telling me I was cancer free, and the sense of relief and joy and happiness that came over my body. And that would really bring me to a sense of, from fear and scared and bawling my eyes out to a sense of feeling calm, hopeful, and like that I was grounded. I had a purpose that I was walking towards. Because like you said earlier, your body doesn't know the difference. If I'm having the fear that I'm going to die, that I'm having the fear that I'm going to be watching from above my children going to my funeral, my body doesn't know the difference of that. It thinks that's really happening in that moment. So, I'm sweaty, my heart's beating a million miles an hour. The thoughts are reoccurring. I can't focus on anything. I'm pulling back from my family. That the one thing that I'm wanting to happen, I'm not doing because I'm too busy in my head. So by practicing and rehearsing that different emotional response, my body is responding like that is happening.
And you're actually training your body as well, because we talked about it before, the body remembers. So every time you have that thought, you, without even trying, just that thought alone becomes a trigger for your anxiety. And this is literally what feeds that loop. So you're basically, instead of resisting that feeling, you're moving into it, you're giving it its space to be, you're bringing awareness to it, and then you are shifting it.
Exactly.
It's super, super powerful. Also, side note, you guys can totally use this just for general manifestation. I've done this for job interviews before, where I've rehearsed the call that says, we'd love for you to come in for the interview. And I've literally had that exact same call, almost word for word, a few days later. So this is really great
It's powerful.
for both sides. It is.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's that your body is an energetic field, and your body is putting out a radio frequency, and so that is what we're wanting to tap more into, because that's how our body's gonna be sitting in a state of rest and digest rather than fight or flight.
Totally. And I think it's one of those things as well. It's like a big part of what we're trying to like teach people is that you literally create your own world. You create your own reality. You do
Yes.
that through your thoughts, and you can get control of your thoughts. Like
Yeah.
it can sound a little bit like I say woo woo when people say like you create your own reality, but there is hardback science
Yeah.
about how what we think ripples into so many different aspects of our lives. So particularly when it comes to anxiety, it's like the connection to the mind is so
Hmm.
prominent that it's really something that you need to retrain. And in retraining your mind, you are retraining your body, which is essentially this masterclass, the mind body connection.
All right. It's been a pleasure working with you guys tonight. I hope you've enjoyed the masterclass, and we'll catch you later.